Do you know what happens when a flight is diverted?
Airline prices are outrageous right now.
Stop shopping around for flights.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Welcome back.
So last video we actually were talking about hotels and traveling.
Now it's about flights.
Heck yeah. You never been on a flight, have you?
No.
I've been on a flight. It's been a while though. It's not fun.
It doesn't seem that fun, especially like the current events that have happened recently with the news and like the things happening on planes and then getting stuck next to like
A dead body.
Yeah. It doesn't seem that fun.
I would actually really hate my life if I got stuck next to the poo trail down the aisle.
That's disgusting.
Gotta wait. We gotta turn back around, guys. It's gonna take an hour or so.
Nope. No. No, thank you.
I'm good. But anyway, let's get into it.
So gross.
You know what happens when a flight is diverted? That means when your airplane's already in the air, but then you get rerouted to a different airport than the one that you were destined to go to. Because this recently happened to me, and I want to share what happened during that time. And even as a frequent flyer, I learned something new that I think you may find interesting, and it may even help you out on your future travel plans. And it wasn't even because of the recent IT shortage this week. I was actually really lucky. This flight happened the Thursday before on July the 18th. I was coming back to Atlanta, but there was some bad weather, so they actually had us in a holding pattern doing a loop for a little bit before ultimately deciding that it was best just to divert us to another airport nearby. So we headed to Augusta, Georgia instead and spent a few hours on the ground on the runway. So first, let me commend the Delta crew because I know there's a lot of Delta loyalists out there. I don't consider myself as one because I've always kind of held a grudge against them because I live in Atlanta, which is basically a big Delta hub, and it has severely limited the flight options that I have. But they've definitely won me over after this experience. They gave us routine, timely, and transparent updates as much as they could. And how did I know it's transparent? I was in the second row, so I overheard them talking to one another before they got on the comms, and they were pretty much telling us whatever they knew right after they found out themselves. They even apologized profusely for the delay, even though, they had no control over the weather, and the Atlanta airport was not letting anyone land or take off for at least a solid hour and pretty much directing people elsewhere. Now, here's the part that's interesting, and I don't think many people know it because apparently diversions are not that common. One of the flight attendants says she had been working for 8 years, and this was the second one that she's ever been a part of. She said she's seen all kinds of incidents and things on the plane, delays, but in terms of diversions, once you've already left the ground, it is very rare. So what do you think happens when a customer is demanding to be let out? Maybe like a Karen or just someone freaking out. You assume they're probably SOL and just stuck on the plane, right? Because we're on the tarmac. We're not anywhere near the gates. There's no big stairs to take you down. If you jump out the door after opening it, you're just going to fall straight down. Not to mention, we were at a regional airport which does not handle very large planes, so it's questionable if they even have the right equipment to deplane people in a timely manner. Well, it turns out you can actually leave because some people started going up there and asking questions. Eventually, the captain came on the comms and said, "Hey, look, we cannot legally hold you. If you want to go, we have to let you go and we will do our best to accommodate you." Like, I was really surprised by that. They said, just give us some time to call the crew over. They said, please be aware though, the stairs that they have in the plane that we're in do not line up. They said there's a big gap, so you're going to have to watch your step when you leave. And they made this part very clear. They said once you leave the door, you're not coming back in. Like, for security reasons, you are basically off the flight. You are no longer a passenger. And then they added Delta is no longer responsible for you once you're gone. They're not going to rebook anything. They're not going to get you hotels. They're not going to help you get anywhere. Once you're off. You are on your own. And despite hearing all that, there were still about 10 people who left. And I was dumbfounded. I was talking to my wife and I'm like, why are they leaving? Because before they left, the captain was saying, hey, they're going to give us the green light to go off in about 30 minutes. They said, we're going to do our final checks, and then we are back. We've gotten the green light to go back to Atlanta. And the distance between those two cities, it's barely like a 30-minute flight in the air. So if you're trying to get a car or something and drive, you're looking at 2.5 hours minimum just to get to where you were originally going to. So it really puzzled me, but sure enough, right after all those people left, they started doing all their check-ins and everything. They closed the door, and we were in the air and pretty much back in Atlanta within 45 minutes. And I was like, y'all, if you just showed a little bit of patience, you would have gotten there so much faster. You wouldn't have had to stress about anything else. It was just so easy, and those people couldn't wait. And let me wrap up by saying I am thanking my former self for booking this one in first class, because it made a world of difference to be stuck somewhere when you have a little bit more comfortable seat and you're right in the front, so you're hearing the crew talk and you know exactly what's going on. And if you want to know how I booked this flight, as well as every other flight I've had in the last 7 years for free using points and miles, feel free to follow along so I can teach you to do the same as well.
I say that patience is a big killer of your pockets and a big killer of your time.
Yeah.
If you have no patience, you are automatically you actually waste more time not being patient than you do being patient.
And I can already tell that most of the population is very impatient because of the amount of people that I've seen will go around someone on the road just to end up at the same spot they would have already been at if they just waited.
For real, I'm true. Like this is like it's like cutting a line in a spot, and like, hey, the line's still not moving, so you're still waiting, dog. Like, you maybe saved like what, 2 seconds?
Exactly. It's so stupid. But getting those flights for free is crazy. That's why you always use the rewards and look up any discounts.
Yeah. Also, if something happens on a plane, make sure you stay in the realm and rules. If someone tells you, hey, we will not accommodate you if you do some of this, don't do it.
Exactly.
I'll take my time to get accommodated. That's worth my time. Free stuff.
Especially if it's going to make people unsafe. Like, you just have to wait sometimes.
Exactly.
Stop shopping around for flights. The flight prices are not going to change. They're not going to be different from Skyscanner, from Booking.com, from Google Flights. Like, they're not going to be that different. Shopping around is going to drive you nuts. Choose one website that you trust. For me, it's Google Flights, and then go from there.
I'll tell you this, ma'am. That's a Zam lie. You lying. Why you lying?
Like, this is why people are not shopping around anymore, because people like this are saying, just don't, it's too much work, you're busy. Don't ever trust one website. They're all gonna have different prices sometimes.
This is the patience thing we were just talking about. She ain't got the patience.
Exactly.
And it's costing her more money, because I've checked. Some sites are giving you $90, $80 to go to Illinois. Some sites are saying $100. And one of them was first class.
For real?
And that was a lower than $100 one. So what are we talking about?
And what did they mean right here? So they got back $76 from a flight going down. And she's saying, was the $76 price significant enough to have made you not book the flight at all?
She's a hater. They just told you, hey, I had paid less. And she's like, does it really matter? You just told me that it's not going to go down, though.
What the heck?
Oh my gosh, I hate these people.
And it doesn't matter. $76 is $76. That's a lot of money that you could use elsewhere rather than just throwing it down the drain.
I hate how these people talk about money now. Like they're making their own pockets skinnier.
Exactly.
You know what? Keep saying no. Keep saying it's not important. I'll be over here saving money.
Yeah, I mean, like, you do you, but I wouldn't be telling people to not shop around. That's money.
I would, so I can have more money in my pocket.
It's crazy.
Reverse psychology.
Airline prices are outrageous right now. I want to talk about it. And when I say I want to talk about it, I will let you know I absolutely have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm not an expert on travel. It's something my husband usually takes care of. But we have been trying to plan a spring break trip for well over a year now. We ended up having one planned on a cruise and ended up having to cancel because the deal we got on the cruise was reasonable. The airfare that it took to go from Denver to Miami was just outrageous. We were able to find an all-inclusive in Cancun that we were able to switch things over to. But when I tell you either from Denver to Cancun or Denver from Miami, the average price for my family of four to fly to those locations is $3,500. And that's the average price. There's flights that we were looking at from Denver to Cancun on Southwest for four of us that was literally over $5,000. This is outrageous. And I have a theory on this. And when I tell you I have a theory, I've literally heard nobody talking about this. So if I'm totally wrong on this, eat me up in the comments, tell me I'm wrong, but here's my theory. We are seeing these airline prices because the airlines want people to be using their credit cards to use points to purchase these airlines or the airline tickets. And so for our family of four, we really try not to use credit cards. If I'm being honest, like we can't really trust ourselves. The idea to pay it off at the end of the month, each month, is a beautiful idea, but it doesn't always happen. And so we've really opted to just go for like paying everything with a debit card out of our checking account. But because of this, we don't have like these airline miles to be using to pay for these tickets. And so all of a sudden, I feel like we're being punished for like not racking up things on a credit card and having to like essentially pay these full price ticket fees, which are absolutely outrageous. So if anybody has any insight to this, let me know. But like I said, I absolutely have no idea what I'm talking about. It's the only kind of theory I can come up with as to why we would be charged $5,000 to fly from Denver to Cancun, which is just crazy.
No, they go first. I'll go first.
And that's exactly why the world operates on consumers being in debt. So just don't do it because you don't want to be slaves to the airlines. They already have enough money.
I completely forgot that they had cards that were like, hey, let's make a card that completely gets rid of our fees. And everyone who uses this card that isn't part of our cards, will just fee them like out the wazoo.
And everywhere is doing it now because like if you check out on Amazon or you go to TJ Maxx or whatever, they will try to like sell you this card, you get a free credit card and you can save like $100 on your purchase or maybe even pay $0 today if you get this credit card. And then like what they don't tell you is it's a credit card. You have to pay that back and then there will be interest. And I didn't know that at like 18 years old. And they tried to get me to sign up for the one that I was working at. And I did, but I didn't buy anything on it. So that was good.
Yeah, that's funny. Because actually, also the jewelry store you worked at, that doing that, they kept trying to get us, the workers for the regular store, to do that too, which was annoying. Stop! I'm not buying a credit card for jewelry. If I'm going to use money in the grocery store, I'm going to buy groceries with it.
Which is crazy because like I wasn't asking people most of the time, unless someone was watching me, then I'll ask. But then the other time, like I wouldn't even be asking because they always say no anyway.
Yeah, like I did. I said no. They will come over to us like, hey, discounts for coworkers? No. Anyway, it's stupid. And because talking about credit cards like that, PlayStation, PlayStation owned by Sony. Sony has Sony Rewards. They're trying to advertise credit cards for PlayStation and Sony Rewards. So if you bought something with this credit card, you can get PlayStation money. You bought this with a credit card, you can probably win a PS5, which I'm not doing because you're gonna so much ARP.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Just don't. Please. Especially they will try to sell it to people, make it so appealing to people that are like 18 or really young and don't really know much about finances.
Because the funny thing too is they will advertise it. If you have a PS5 or PS4, you know this. They will advertise stuff on the front page that you have to delete, kind of like you're deleting a game. They will say start and all this. They just put it on your screen randomly. It's annoying. It sucks.
Exactly. Very annoying.
I promise you, you have overpaid for a flight
Never
because
does.
you did this. When you use third-party sites to search for a flight, you can find the cheapest flight that's available for your destination. But if you book your flight through that third party, it is costing you money because it's going to be significantly harder for you to cancel that flight, to change your flight, to upgrade your seats, and you lose out on the points from that airline's rewards program. Even though you save a couple bucks up front, you're actually losing in the end. Don't get me wrong, I like using third-party sites. They are really great for finding all-inclusive deals. And when I say all-inclusive, I mean the hotel, the food, the drinks, the airport transportation, and the flights, because you can get really great all-inclusive deals on third-party sites. I've done it before. It's great. However, it is so much more beneficial in the long term for you to use that third-party website, find the airline that has the cheapest flight for whatever you're looking for, and then go to that airline's website and book with the airline directly. Because for one thing, you're automatically eligible for any upgrades if you book directly through the airline, but you can also then use those points later and redeem them for free flights. Save this and you can thank me later.
See, and this is like this. All this information goes back to what we talked about during the delivery apps video. It's like ordering McDonald's through DoorDash. It's going to it's selling deals, but in the long run, it's going to cost you more. Just go through the app from McDonald's, you get more. It's the exact same with basically everything, hotels and flights.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be better, but a lot of time they're gonna either fee you too much or you're gonna miss out on stuff that they're gonna give you with other things.
Exactly. Just eliminate the middleman. You don't need him.
For real.
Look like we about to be doing a whole bunch of Spirit Airline flights. They're talking about flight prices at major airlines could rise 20% in the next 2 to 3 months.
No, you're not. Spirit is Spirit's not doing good.
I got 4 minimum trips this year that I plan on taking. 3 out the country, 1 in the States. But who finna pay for these trips? Who finna pay for the flights? It's like, dang, groceries go up, gas go up, everything go up. Now y'all want the flights to go up too? So now I gotta get on TikTok and review the international. Do Spirit even fly out the country? Do we need to call Kevin Hart and get Soul Plane back? Matter of fact, I know I follow somebody on here. I know somebody on here follow me that work at an airline. Can I use y'all discount? Can we become friends and y'all just, I tip you. I pay, you know what I'm saying? Like we can make something that benefits each other. So if I got anybody on here that work at any airlines, you a flight attendant, anything they got to do, they can get a discount, that you can share a discount with somebody like me, slide in the comments, slide in the DMs, let me know, because I'm not trying to do this.
How much would you pay for a discount from someone else?
See, at that point, is it a discount?
Honestly, at that point, I was supposed to get a job.
At that point, but if I'm still saving and it's still less than like getting it regularly, I guess. However much, if I as long as it's still less, I'll pay it. I guess.
Dog, at best, you're getting $20 from me. At best, that's the maximum.
It just depends on the cost.
For real?
Yeah. Don't go paying more.
Does anyone else feel like flight deals right now are ridiculous? Like, I swear it's cheaper to fly round trip to Europe or anywhere in the world than fly domestic in the United States. Like, for instance, just look at how ridiculous American is pricing their flights right now. Does anyone else feel
That's insane.
It actually truly is. I don't know why it is. Like, we can just drive there if we want to.
Exactly. Most places can just be driven.
Yeah.
Or take a road trip. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this. This is my tips. I don't really fly, but I've heard from my family. And then again, they're not that good.
Well, you were supposed to be flying.
I'm not going back to Illinois for our wedding, even though the person who's getting married is going to move down here.
That is true. What? I mean, I guess most of her family's in Illinois.
Yeah, most of my distant family is in Illinois. Not Springfield, but Jacksonville. The flight to Springfield would be too much, and that's why my family wants to fly to St. Louis, and probably they could connecting flight there, or they could drive up 1 of the 2. That's usually what we do before. We would fly to St. Louis and fly to probably Springfield, not Chicago. Never fly into Chicago. Too much. We fly into like somewhere else, and they just drive us, and it's like an hour drive. So
Yeah, the costs are just too much. Even though Illinois isn't that far away from here, it's just a lot of money. It's crazy.
It's better than driving because you got to drive through West Virginia, depending, maybe Ohio, depending on which way you go. It's just annoying.
I'll take the road trip at that point.
Honestly, road trip's more fun.
Yeah.
At least when you have things to see, you have them to see. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But my usual tip is that here is to fly in somewhere close by that's cheaper and just drive the rest of the way there.
Same. And just shop around for deals. You never know what you can find, and then try to wait for a season where the prices are lowest and just try to get a feel for what the patterns are.
Yeah, most definitely. That's all I gotta say.
Well, thank you for watching the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and please get us to 1,000 subscribers.
And if you're ever being scammed by an airline, blow up the... I don't think I can finish that sentence, actually.
Probably.
Let me not say that. Bye, guys.
Bye.